Hello there. In this video, we'll talk about ethology, the study of animal behavior, and some of its concepts you can observe in nature. Imagine a vibrant forest teeming with life, filled with various species of predator and prey alike. Why don't we focus on this little guy? A young brown rabbit foraging for food. Food is one of the driving forces behind animal behavior, and in some cases, you might just be the food. An adult hawk soars through the sky, searching for his next meal, and our little rabbit friend might just be the perfect lunch. He can try to run away, but speed may not be the best option when you're trying to escape the deadly glide of a looming hawk. Instead, the rabbit may engage in a technique known as crypsis, which is when you camouflage yourself with your surroundings. Notice the brown fur against the brown dirt is not an easy target to spot from up above. This would usually result in the predator cutting their losses in search for a new target. But if the predator is close to starvation with no other options of prey, he may decide that it's best to allocate extra time and energy to locate this one rabbit. A risky move, but one that is required in the economics of foraging if he aims to survive the night. One little slip up from the rabbit is all the hawk needs to spot his prey again. Then, he'll be ready to strike. Bingo! The gamble pays off, and the hawk successfully carries away his hard-earned food. But what happens in interactions where multiple individuals are gunning for prey? This is known as competition. In intraspecific competition, individuals within the same species compete for resources, while interspecific competition pits two individuals of different species against each other. Competition can either be interference, with direct physical contact at play, or it can be exploitative, where the resource is hogged by one competitor. Two mountain lions fighting for deer is intraspecific interference competition. One mountain lion keeping the deer away from the coyote is interspecific exploitative competition. If the coyote keeps getting outcompete for resources, he may move to a less resource-rich environment. This means there will be less competition to worry about, but he will have to wait longer before he sees prey. This phenomenon is known as the ideal free distribution, and works under the assumption that the predator can sense when competition is too high and can freely relocate to a different environment. A predator will instinctively avoid interaction with humans. But once they finish passing, he sees the opportunity to strike prey. The beach has a much lower abundance of deer to hunt compared to the forest, but there will be virtually no mountain lions to compete with here. Since this deer is traveling alone, she lacks the tactical advantage of heightened vigilance you'd get from traveling in a pack. So our coyote friend has his easy meal. Now, while terrestrial environments are certainly interesting for observing animal communities, there is a myriad of unseen ecosystems residing in the neighboring aquatic environment, the ocean. Let's dive in. The ocean is home to some of the most fascinating creatures, such as the bottlenose dolphin. Similar to schools of fish, these dolphins travel in pods where their movement patterns are dictated by their relative proximities. A zone of repulsion indicates to push away, a zone of attraction calls to pull in, and a zone of orientation maintains individuals in their aligned spacings. This constant push and pull is what allows this pod of dolphins to move in such a coordinated fashion. As a group, they have a heightened collective acuity for catching fish. Sometimes, these fish aren't captured with the intent to be eaten, but instead to be used as gifts. In the animal kingdom, the second driving force next to food is the chance to mate with an individual of the opposite sex. Males will often attempt to win over the attention of a female in order to achieve this, and different species have come up with various methods of display, one of them being giving gifts. The male dolphin eagerly brings the fish to a female dolphin in the hopes of winning her over. He's rejected. In sexual selection, the competition to win a mate can be just as difficult as the competition for food, so our male dolphin will need to go bigger. Perfect. Tragically, the dolphin was eaten by an orca before he could capture the stingray as a replacement gift. This is good news for the stingray, though. Even though the orca did not directly interact with the stingray, he benefited her by killing off her predator, thereby saving her from being consumed by the dolphin. This is called an indirect positive effect. By decreasing the size of the dolphin population, the orca manages to increase the size of the stingray population. This is called trophic cascade. We can also observe that two different species can come together in a purely positive context, where it's a win-win for both parties. Here, the fish provide a cleaning service to stingrays while the stingrays allow the fish to consume food off of them. This is a mutualistic interaction and is just one of the many different interspecies interactions that exist. There is so much to unpack in the world of animal behavior, and this video barely covers the tip of the iceberg. So the next time you're out on a stroll and spot an animal, pay attention to the ways it behaves. Is it interacting with other animals? In what ways? Can you think about the reasons it may be behaving that way? Ethology tackles these questions. If you stay curious, you might just be surprised by what you learn.